What's up, people? The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, is disturbed about the rise of Africa. I'm Chibuzo Wachuku. I would appreciate you liking this video and subscribing to my channel. You may share this video. Macron sees the prosperity of Africa as the downfall of Europe and the West. A white lady on his show talked about it. I'll roll the clips now.
Hear this crap? Apparently, according to Macron, Africa getting its fair share will weaken Europe and the West.
Angela, Macron earlier was warning against what he called this risk of a weakening West. Tell us a bit more about that.
He was also referring to the BRICS Plus summit recently, this idea that Western dominance is really being challenged now. And he said, this is what's happening. We need to take notice of it. There is, if you just look at the Ukraine war, often a perspective from what we sometimes call the global south or any other countries outside the US and Europe, that when a country is invaded elsewhere in the world, it is seen as a territorial dispute. When it is a country which involves Europe or the US, it is seen as a matter of universal values and something quite different. That really irritates countries outside the West, and there's this growing challenge to the West. I think he wanted to talk a little about Africa as well, which he alluded to so much in that speech. Of course, we've all seen what's been happening in Niger in recent weeks. And this is an anti-Western narrative, but also an anti-French narrative, which is increasingly taking hold in Africa. We saw it in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Niger.
Macron, unlike most of the other white supremacists, is an open-mouthed supremacist and clearly a devil. He's obviously evil. When things go the way of Africans, he expresses his anger. When an African country or any other country with mostly blacks is in a bad situation, whether it's famine or war or whatever it is, and it's killing them, he's fine with it. But when it comes to a country in the West or a European country, it's a different thing. Like I said before in earlier recordings, he would take all the resources that an African country has, leaving nothing for the people of that country, and making sure that all the people of this country have what they need. He's such a devil. He's despicable. When African countries are on the way to prosperity, he gets mad. He's still wondering why BRICS would not accept his application for membership. And yes, BRICS rejected France's application for membership. The organization also rejected the applications of other Western countries, including the USA and Germany. I believe this is about the West and its values. The main thing being white supremacy. The actions of Macron and the other leaders of the West, and also the EU and NATO, are about white supremacy. The organizations and the West, well, I'm not saying all people from those areas. I'm sure that there are whites that are against that despicable thing. But the white supremacists, I meant to say, sabotage African countries just as they sabotage blacks in their own countries. I know the USA, at least, has blacks sabotaged economically. I've heard of black businesses screwed, which is why some blacks prefer to have businesses outside Western countries, or would have whites pretend to own their businesses. In the USA, there are whites that are disturbed about blacks being rich, that they would try to stop them from having money. That is the way Macron is. The other leaders of those Western countries, like the USA, England, Germany, and so on, they are like that. The main difference is that Macron has an open mouth. That is why I hear about him more than I would about Biden concerning African countries rising or black people prospering. He just cannot keep his mouth shut. This is probably why Niger acted up having that coup. Macron is a devil and a despicable human being. Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.